Yeah.
So I would talk to people, and a lot of them would start buying. So 2020, we took the plunge and started ARK Silver.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I've tried to talk to people, but it doesn't always work out as well for me. That's nice. It's some headway there. But
I have plenty of friends and relatives who still think I've got a tinfoil hat, let alone a silver foil hat. They don't get it. They don't understand. I think they just presume that there's going to be continual return on principal and return of your principal. They can't conceive that at some point rapidly your principal can just disappear. Then there's no return on that because everything's gone.
for our viewers out there, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, how early do you want me to start?
Well, as early as you want.
Yeah, I've always loved making things. So from an early age, I was building things, doing jobs for neighbors. About the age of 7, 8 years old, I was learning how to lay bricks and plumb and wire and plaster and do all of the building trades.
Nice.
So I went after school, went full-time into construction, did that for just around 40 years.
Nice. So building houses and everything, or what was your...
Yeah, remodeling. Towards the end, we were building houses. Big additions, remodels, kitchens, bathrooms, driveways, you name it, we did it.
Cool. Welcome in Liberty Bleeds Silver and OC Stacker. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's cool. I was actually a subcontractor carpenter as well for I don't know, 15 years, something like that. So that was where was that at then?
That was mainly in England. Then we moved my wife and I moved to the US in 2019. Picked up construction here, and then we started ARK Silver 2020. And for over 2 years, I was doing construction and ARK Silver at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. I see. So, what kind of brought you over here, if you don't mind me asking?
American wife.
Yeah.
We got married in 2011 and lived for 8 years on the south coast in England. And then a construction job offer came up in the US. So we thought about it, and we sort of pursued that. I got my green card. And we turned up in July 2019, only for that big construction job to fall through. So.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But we were here and picked up some work pretty quick. And it's been an incredible journey.
Very nice. Very nice. Liberty Bleeds said it was great meeting you at the Silver Symposium. You guys must have bumped into each other.
I recognize the logo. I'm pretty certain he gave me a plastic token, like a poker chip.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I got a poker chip as well. Those are sweet.
That was a great time at the symposium. That was an awesome event. Actually, it turned out completely different to the year before.
Yeah, how was that?
There was a lot of people there. There was a real great buzz there. I think about 800 people signed up and turned up.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to go, but I didn't quite make it. But I know a few people who were there. Liberty Bleeds being one of them. So so that 2019, you made it to the States and were doing some construction, and
Yeah.
then what happened? What got
Well,
you
so
started in 2020?
around 2017, I somehow came across on a YouTube feed about the central banks, the Federal Reserve, and I got more and more interested and just studied more and more and followed the trails. And everything I learned about money and currency led me to the personal conclusion that I don't want to store my future in currency. I want to store it in money. So I persuaded my wife, and we actively started buying silver, not every week, but whenever we could afford to buy a roll of Maples or a roll of Britannias, we did.
Yep.
And for anybody who'd listen to me, I would talk to them about silver and why fundamentally, if you want to store the value of your labor for the medium term or long term, silver is the safest and most secure way of doing it, with an incredible upside.
Yeah.
So I would talk to people, and a lot of them would start buying. So 2020, we took the plunge and started ARK Silver.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I've tried to talk to people, but it doesn't always work out as well for me. That's nice. It's some headway there. But
I have plenty of friends and relatives who still think I've got a tinfoil hat, let alone a silver foil hat. They don't get it. They don't understand. I think they just presume that there's going to be continual return on principal and return of your principal. They can't conceive that at some point rapidly your principal can just disappear, and then there's no return on that, because everything's gone.
yeah, and that sounds, obviously that's gonna sound crazy because we're all in the same system, and it's been supportive of us all the way up until now. So I suppose that's just kind of how the average person views it if they haven't really figured out to look under the hood of how things are working.
Yeah.
But to the point of, and it sounds so crazy, you lose everything or something like that, but the truth of it is that we already kind of are operating on nothing, right?
Yeah. I mean, the money is supposed to be an account, to keep an account of wealth. So all of these fiat currencies are a theoretical claim to purchase something in the future. What people can't understand is there's not enough real things to purchase at the current prices with the amount of units of currency there are. I'll quote Mike Maloney from his recent book. There's 55 times more currency worldwide than there was in 1980.
Wow. Yeah.
So 55 times more units of account, and most of the people that hold that presume they're going to be able to buy something meaningful.
Right. And it's tied up in a paper asset, basically a receipt for what used to be real money.
Yeah.
And so not only is the paper kind of imaginary, like you know everybody has what, their 401k, and so
Yeah.
but so when you really start digging and looking into things, you realize, wow, everything is actually kind of it might be written down on paper, but it's kind of a figment of the imagination as well. It's just digits in a computer, or
Yeah.
and not necessarily anything real underneath it. So yeah, I was just watching Daniela Cambone on ITM Trading, and she was talking with David Rogers Webb of The Great Taking, and when I was listening to him breaking it down from top to bottom, you can see that through over time, through the Federal Reserve, we just have supplied an unrealistic monetary system just fed it and fed it and fed it, and so it keeps the Ponzi going, but it is just a Ponzi, and so we're just kind of operating on nothing. It's just like faith and confidence, right, when it comes down to it. And since we're so in debt and backed up, it's just bound to backfire. And I just don't think people have connected any of those dots, but once you see it, it's easy to understand kind of where we're at, right?
Yeah, and it's not just faith and confidence; it's also coercion, isn't it?
Right.
There's serious consequences if you don't pay your taxes with dollars.
Right. Yep.
They're not going to accept eggs or chickens or bars of silver. Whatever you earn or however you earn it, you've got to convert it into dollars to comply with diktat that this is what you pay your taxes in. And at the end of the day, there's severe consequences, and force will be used against you if you don't comply with using the dollar.
Right, leveraging you into the system that's slowly eating away at you.
Yeah, and it's ironic that people are in, the system is you go to college, you get a big debt, you take on a mortgage, you get a debt,
yep.
You buy a car, you buy that on debt, and then all of these debts get rolled up into different packages and get sold as investments, and then you're told to buy those investments for your retirement.
Yeah. Wow. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely interesting, and and since the whole system's going along with it, you might say, well, so then everything's just fine. But it's not the case. That's the case either, because if you look at the debasement and the amount of price rise because of the inflation of the system, it's what we from 1913 to now, we've lost like 98% of our purchasing power.
Yeah,
and we know that that's rapidly increasing now in speed wise. So it's not just like we're going to sit back and everything's going to continue to go okay.
No, because I mean the 2% of that dollar's purchasing power that is left since 1913, that 2% is our 100%. So
right,
that 100% can go can lose its 98%.
Yep.
And it can do it a lot more rapidly than the period from 1913 to date.
And that's what all signs point to that right now, especially with so yeah, not a good situation there. And so that's why you have started up your little business there. So yeah, so what do you like right now? The silver to gold ratio is pretty blown out right now, pretty wide.
88.88, all eights at the moment to 1.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, and of course we know like gold is I look at it as safety kind of. We know now for sure with the being labeled a tier 1 asset and the banks going into it, that's going to be a sure thing, right? I mean, that's kind of one way to look at it, right?
I mean that the tier 1 classification of gold, I think that goes way back in the mid 2012, 2014. I think it was way back.
Okay.
And obviously the only reason I can see they did that, they wanted to bring into place something more secure than US debt, because that's supposed to be the only other tier 1 asset that has no counterparty risk. But yeah, going back to that ratio LLC, a lot of people ask me, should I buy gold or should I buy silver? And I say, well, if you've got space and you're happy filling up some of it with silver, when you buy silver, you're not buying gold. You're getting an option to get gold on sale later, because they're joined, and it may be with a bungee rope, but they are joined, and they're never going to get separated. So where gold goes, eventually silver goes and overperforms.
Yep. Yeah, I just heard that analogy of it's a truck going uphill, and gold is the diesel pickup going up the hill, but there's a silver is is the trailer connected by a bungee cord, and
Yeah.
lags behind until finally it,
Yeah.
shoots past. So